These are photos of the Hillsborough Police Department. Most of these came off of the Hillsborough Police Department's Facebook page. This is a photo of 3 individuals wearing baseball uniforms with CHAD, Battle of the Badges, printed across their shirts. I looked it up, and CHAD stands for Children's Hospital at Dartmouth. And I guess this is some sort of fundraiser event. Next is a photograph of 4 men standing in a parking lot, and I believe that this is the parking lot of the closed car dealership that was featured in part 25. They wear shirts that say Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics, and I think at least 2 of these officers are shown in other photographs of the Hillsborough Police Department. Most of the photographs at the Hillsborough Police Department's Facebook page do not have a description, so there is not too much information about these different photographs, and I do not have these officers' names. This is kind of an odd photograph of members of the Hillsborough Police Department, and they're standing with a unicorn and a lady in a blue dress. So I do not know if this is a wedding dress or if this is for some other event. Next is a photograph that appears to be photoshopped. There is a female police officer shown far left, and for some strange reason, she has her finger held up over her lips, so it does not look too good. And I have no idea why members of the Hillsborough Police Department would do this and then upload this photograph onto their Facebook page. It seems like a bad joke, especially because they are making fun of the only female police officer shown in this photograph. Some of the police officers in this photo are wearing suits, some casual clothes, and the rest have slightly different uniforms on. So I don't know if this is due to the fact that they all have different positions at the police department, or how common it is for them to take group photographs like this. Next is another photograph of a tall, blonde-haired female who may be a Hillsborough police officer. She is wearing a baseball uniform, again with the Battle of the Badges logo on front. What is strange is that a tall, blonde-haired female police officer is present in quite a few of their photographs, but I noticed in every one of these photographs her face looks slightly different, so much in fact that I do not know if this is the same woman, or if these photographs have been photoshopped for some strange reason. Next is a group photograph with a Hillsborough police car shown in the back. And there are 16 individuals, including some who appear to have physical or mental disabilities. Next is a black and white photograph of the Hillsborough Police Department. I guess this was taken some time ago, but I do not know what year that was. I would not be surprised if this is a photoshopped image as well. It looks like some of these officers may have served at the Hillsborough Police Department at different times. Alright, next is a video of the Hillsborough Police Department taking the Ice Bucket Challenge. The police chief, who says his name is David Rourke, sounds very much like a military commander, and I do not know if that is normal for most police departments to imitate a military unit to such a degree.
Hi, I'm Police Chief David Rourke here at the Hillsborough Police Department. We're out here today, like many that came before us, to participate in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. We're hoping to bring awareness to the disease and raise some money to combat it. At this point in time, I'd like to call out several other agencies to participate in the challenge. Those would be the Antrim, New Hampshire Police Department and the
Prosecutor Mike Beausoleil,
Prosecutor Mike Beausoleil and the Henniker Police Department,
and Prosecutor John Weld,
and our dearest friends, the Hillsborough, Oregon Police Department. Department, attend, present, police! Ready,
Next is a series of photographs from the Hillsborough Fire Department's Facebook page. Again, many of these photographs appear photoshopped or taken in the understanding that they are kind of joking around. I looked up the local government of Hillsborough, and they do not have a mayor. However, they have a board of selectmen. So there are 3 selectmen, and one is the chairman of the board. So according to the Wikipedia page on the town of Hillsborough, New Hampshire, there are currently 3 selectmen, and their names are James C. Bailey III, and he is the chairman. There is a John P. Stower and a Dave J. Rogers. And there is also a town administrator, and her name is Laura Bono. So for a couple of weeks, I searched for their photographs on the internet, but their photographs were not readily available to the public. So I went to the Hillsborough Town website. I went to Google Images, and I looked through several town reports, which are like newsletters. And for a couple of weeks, I could not locate one photograph of any of these selectmen. As some of you may remember, in part 3 of this series, there was a J.P. Stower mentioned on the Gallery at Wellsweep website. And J.P. Stower is identified as a local musician who plays in a band with his wife, Pam Stower. And they have a group called Thistlewood. However, it was not stated if he was a selectman in Hillsborough. So after looking for a few weeks, I eventually found a Facebook page called Stower for Selectmen, and it had a clearer photograph of Stower. And posts such as this with details about his campaign. I was never able to locate a photograph for the Hillsborough selectman named Dave J. Rogers. However, I eventually found a Facebook page with a post about an award meeting held by the Board of Selectmen in Hillsborough. The post had a few photographs where a young lady was presented with an award for the best youth services volunteer, and the meeting took place in 2017. No one is identified in the photographs. However, there is a photograph of the award itself, and it is signed by a James Bailey III, who is the chairman of the Board of Selectmen. It is also signed by a David Fullerton and a Jonathan Daly. So one of these men may be James Bailey III. My guess is that it is the guy presenting the award to the young woman. So this may be James Bailey III, the current chairman of the board of Hillsborough, New Hampshire. The only other thing I could find with a photograph concerning the Board of Selectmen was in this Hillsborough Town report in 2015. So it was a few years ago, but there are a few people in the photograph next to a write-up about the selectman's office in Hillsborough. And last, I looked up Laura Bono, who is the town administrator. And she had a Facebook page that had comments and postings about the Hillsborough, New Hampshire government. However, this is her main Facebook page photo. And she has several other photographs of outdoor scenes and artwork such as this. However, this is the only photograph that I could find on that page of real people. So this may be Laura Buono, photographed with an unknown male. Again, there is no description. And although I cannot say for sure, this man bears a resemblance to the man pictured at the award meeting, who may be James Bailey III. Next are all the photographs I could find on a place called German John's Bakery that was supposedly open in downtown Hillsborough for about 20 years before closing in 2017. Here are a few photographs of where it was located in one of the buildings on West Main Street in the historic district of Hillsborough. And this is a photograph of one of their, in my opinion, strange breads in the shape of a little person smoking a pipe. It has raisins for eyes and it looks kind of primitive. Supposedly, this was the original building that German John's Bakery opened in. And then I guess they moved across the street. But in my opinion, this photograph looks photoshopped. Next is an article about that bakery in a newspaper article from The Villager, printed in December of 1996. And they write that when John and Judy here moved to the US a few years ago from Germany, one of the things they missed the most was German soft pretzels. So they decided to start a bakery, first baking at home and then later opening a bakery in downtown Hillsborough. Then in another newspaper article, I don't know, but it may also be from The Villager, they have a photograph of Mr. and Mrs. Here and a table filled with some of the strange things that they bake, including pretzels in the shapes of snakes, lizards, and bats. And they also baked a large crocodile that they mounted on a board and is now on the wall of Eaton's Furniture in Hillsborough, New Hampshire, as shown in part 7 of this video series. So I guess that John here is friends with the manager of Eaton Furniture, who said his last name was Stock. And in part 7 of this series, I had a brief conversation with Mr. Stock from Eaton Furniture, and he mentioned that his family was from Germany. The next photograph is supposedly of the Heres when they were a lot younger. In this photograph, Mr. Here looks like some type of model out of the 1960s. And he's pictured next to his wife, I guess. And in my opinion, she looks a little rough. So here are the Heres, photographed more recently, I guess. Supposedly they are musicians and play in a band called the Second Time Around Band. And according to this article or ad, in August of 2017, they had a concert at Eaton's Furniture in the parking lot where they celebrated German John's Bakery closing and the Heres going into retirement. So in that ad, the Heres are photographed with their band, and also Mr. Stock from Eaton Furniture, who is standing on the far right of the photograph, holding his right hand in a strange sign or gesture. I am not sure exactly what that means, but it looks kind of odd. But apparently, whatever he is doing is really cracking up Mrs. Here.